The wedding photographer's impossible secret. I photographed a wedding last month. This month, I'm photographing the same groom marrying someone else. Neither bride knows. I've been a wedding photographer for 8 years. I've shot over 200 weddings in that time. Destination weddings in Hawaii, small backyard ceremonies, elaborate church weddings with 600 guests. Every bride thinks their wedding is unique, and it is to them. But after 8 years, you start to see patterns, the same traditions, the same poses, the same first dance songs. What you don't see is the same groom. Until now. My name is Jake Morrison, and I'm sitting in my car outside a bridal shop in Portland, watching my little sister through the window as she tries on wedding dresses. She's glowing, laughing with our mom and her bridesmaids, holding up a veil that costs more than my first car. She's marrying a man who, 1 month ago, I photographed marrying someone else. Let me start at the beginning. 5 weeks ago, I flew to Seattle for a wedding. The bride was Melissa Park, a pediatric nurse. The groom was David Kim, an investment banker. Big Korean-American wedding, 400 guests, absolutely beautiful. I'd been booked for this wedding 6 months in advance. Melissa's mom had found me through Instagram, loved my portfolio, insisted on flying me up from Portland even though they had local photographers available. The wedding was at a luxury hotel in downtown Seattle. Traditional ceremony blending Korean and Western elements. Payback ceremony in the morning, Christian ceremony in the afternoon. Massive reception that night. David Kim was a good-looking guy, early 30s, well-dressed, charming. He was attentive to Melissa during the photos, made her laugh, seemed genuinely happy. I shot everything. The getting ready photos, the first look, the ceremony, the family formals, the reception. 8 hours of coverage, exactly as contracted. At the end of the night, as I was packing up my equipment, Melissa's mother pulled me aside. She pressed an envelope into my hands. Thank you for capturing our daughter's special day. You've given us memories that will last forever. I smiled, told her it was my honor, congratulated her again. The envelope had a generous tip, an extra $1,000. I flew home the next day, uploaded the photos, spent the following week editing. I sent Melissa and David their full gallery 2 weeks after the wedding, right on schedule. Melissa sent me a message. These are perfect. Thank you so much. David and I couldn't be happier. The photos showed a couple in love, a groom who couldn't take his eyes off his bride, a marriage beginning with joy and promise. I thought that was the end of it. Another wedding, another happy couple, another job well done. Then, 3 weeks ago, I got an inquiry through my website. A bride in Portland wanted to book me for a wedding in 4 weeks. Quick turnaround, but my schedule happened to be open. Her name was Sophie Morrison, my little sister. Sophie is 8 years younger than me. She's a second-grade teacher, loves kids, still lives in the same city where we grew up. She's been dating her boyfriend for 2 years and they'd just gotten engaged. I was thrilled. I'd offered to photograph her wedding for free as my gift to her. She'd been hesitant, don't want to make you work at your own sister's wedding, but eventually agreed when I convinced her I'd love to do it. We met for coffee to discuss her vision for the photos. She showed me inspiration images saved on her phone, talked about wanting natural, candid shots, maybe some creative portraits in downtown Portland. Tell me about the groom, I asked, notepad out. I want to get a sense of his personality for the shots. His name is David, she said, beaming. David Kim. He's wonderful, Jake. I can't wait for you to really get to know him. I froze. David Kim. Korean name, but common enough. Probably a coincidence. What does he do? I asked carefully. He's in finance, investment banking. He travels a lot for work, which is hard sometimes, but he's so dedicated to his career. My stomach started to sink. How did you meet? I asked carefully. At a coffee shop about 2 years ago. He was in Portland for work, and we just clicked. It was long distance for the first year because he's based in Seattle, but he's been traveling to Portland more and more. Actually, he just told his firm he wants to transfer to the Portland office permanently. He said he wants to build his life here, with me. Seattle. Investment banking. David Kim. Do you have a photo?
I tried to keep my voice steady. Sophie pulled out her phone, pulled up a selfie of her and her fiancé. They were at a restaurant, both smiling at the camera, her head resting on his shoulder, his arm around her. It was him, the same David Kim I photographed 1 month ago, the same man who'd married Melissa Park in Seattle. I must have made some sound because Sophie looked at me with concern.
Jake, you okay? Yeah, just that coffee's not sitting right. I think I need some air. I excused myself, went outside, and tried to breathe. This couldn't be happening. It had to be a mistake. Maybe a brother, a cousin, someone with the same name. But no, I'd spent 8 hours photographing David Kim's face. I knew that face. I knew the scar on his left eyebrow. I knew the way he smiled, slightly crooked. I knew the dimple in his right cheek. It was the same man. My sister was engaged to a man who'd married someone else 4 weeks ago. I went back inside. Sophie was looking at wedding dress photos on her phone. Sorry, low blood sugar. I'm fine now. You sure? You look pale. I'm fine. So, when's the wedding? 4 weeks from Saturday. I know it's fast, but David got this incredible deal on a venue that had a last-minute cancellation, and we both just felt like, why wait? When you know, you know. 4 weeks. He was marrying my sister exactly 2 months after marrying someone else. Have you met his family? I asked. Not yet. They're in Korea. He said they're planning to visit after the wedding. His parents are elderly, can't travel easily. Friends? A few work colleagues will be there, but David's not a big social media person, keeps his circle small. I actually love that about him. He's private, focused on what really matters. Or he's hiding something, like a whole other wife. I made an excuse and left early, telling Sophie I had another client meeting. I spent the drive home trying to process what I'd just learned. When I got home, I pulled up the Seattle wedding photos on my computer, went through them carefully, looking for, I don't know what, evidence, confirmation. There was David exchanging vows with Melissa, David kissing his bride, David dancing with his new wife, David cutting a cake that said, Melissa and David forever. I pulled up the contract from that wedding. The contact information listed was a Seattle address and phone number. I searched for David Kim. Online, found a LinkedIn profile. Investment banker, Seattle, WA. It listed only one employer, the Seattle firm. No mention of Portland. I searched for Melissa Park, found her Instagram. It was private, but her profile picture showed her and David, clearly a recent photo. Her bio said, Mrs. Kim, heart, with a date, the date of their Seattle wedding. She thought she was married. She had no idea her husband was planning another wedding in 1 month. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking, do I tell Sophie? Do I confront David? Do I contact Melissa? But I needed more information first. I needed to be absolutely sure. The next day, I called Sophie. Hey, I was thinking, why don't I meet David before the wedding? Get some engagement photos, and I can get a feel for his personality for the wedding day shots. That's a great idea. Let me check his schedule. He's actually in Portland this week. Of course he was. We set up a meeting for 2 days later, a coffee shop in downtown Portland, the same one where Sophie said they'd first met. I got there early, set up my camera, tried to figure out what I was going to say. David arrived exactly on time. He was wearing an expensive suit, looking every bit the successful investment banker. He approached with a confident smile, hand extended. You must be Jake. Sophie's told me so much about you. I shook his hand, studying his face. Up close, there was no doubt. The same face, same scar, same eyes. And you're David, Sophie's fiancé. Guilty as charged, he grinned. I'm a lucky man. Your sister is amazing. I watched him carefully. No recognition, no nervousness. He had absolutely no idea who I was. So, Sophie tells me you're based in Seattle, I said casually, setting up my camera. I am, but I'm transferring to the Portland office. Can't do long distance forever. Makes sense. Must be hard, all that travel. It is, but worth it for the right person. He was good, really good, relaxed, charming,
completely natural. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was exactly what he claimed to be. I actually shot a wedding in Seattle recently, I said, watching his reaction. Beautiful city. Yeah, I love Seattle. Born and raised there. Korean American wedding. Big event, really lovely. Something flickered in his eyes, just for a second. Lots of those in Seattle. The groom's name was actually David Kim, too. Funny coincidence. The flicker turned into something else. Recognition. Then calculation. Then back to his easy smile. Common name, he said, like John Smith for Korean Americans. He knew. He knew I knew, and he was calling my bluff.
We did the engagement shoot. David was perfect for the camera, attentive to Sophie who met us there, laughing at the right moments, gazing at her with what looked like genuine affection. I got the shots. The whole time, my finger on the shutter, I was thinking, what do I do? After Sophie left to get to a work meeting, David lingered. Can we talk? We sat on a bench in the park where we'd been shooting. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. You photographed my wedding, he finally said. Not a question. Yeah. To Melissa. Yeah. And now you're photographing my wedding to Sophie, your sister. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. What are the odds? You tell me. What are the odds that a man gets married twice in 2 months? You don't understand the situation. Then explain it to me, because right now I'm trying to figure out whether to tell my sister before or after your wedding that her husband is already married to someone else. David was quiet for a moment. Then, Melissa doesn't know about Sophie. I figured that out. And Sophie doesn't know about Melissa. Also figured that out. They're both real, Jake. I love them both. I stared at him. Are you serious right now? I know how it sounds. You know how it sounds? You're committing bigamy. You're lying to 2 women. One of them is my sister. I never meant for it to go this far. Then why did it? He ran his hands through his hair. I met Melissa first, 3 years ago. We started dating, got serious fast. Her family is traditional, wanted us to get married. I went along with it because I loved her, and because saying no would have meant losing her. So you married her. Yes, 6 months of planning, huge wedding, both our families there. It was real. And Sophie? I met Sophie 2 years ago. I was in Portland for work, stopped at a coffee shop, and there she was. We started talking. I told myself it was harmless, just coffee, just conversation. Let me guess, it didn't stay harmless. I fell in love with her, completely. The way she laughs, the way she sees the world, the way she makes me want to be better. Couldn't walk away. So you lied to her instead. I told myself I'd end it. Every time I came to Portland, I'd tell myself it was the last time, but then I'd see her and I couldn't do it. So you proposed. She thought we'd been dating 2 years, technically true. She didn't know I was married to someone else. And the wedding? I don't know, it got out of hand. She was so excited, planning everything. I kept thinking I'd figure out how to stop it, but I couldn't hurt her. So instead, you're going to commit a crime. I know it's wrong. Wrong! David, this is insane. This isn't some romantic movie where you get to have 2 wives who never find out. This is real life. This is fraud. This is my sister's life you're destroying. I'm not trying to destroy anything. I'm trying to make them both happy. By lying to them? What am I supposed to do? Tell Melissa I fell in love with someone else? Break her heart? Her family would disown her. In their eyes, divorce is shameful. It would ruin her life. So ruin Sophie's instead. I'm not ruining anyone's life. I can keep them separate. I've done it for 2 years. How? Melissa thinks I travel constantly for work, which I do. I have apartments in both cities. When I'm in Seattle, I'm with her. When I'm in Portland, I'm with Sophie. They're 3 hours apart. It's manageable. It's insane. Maybe, but it's working. Until it doesn't. Until someone sees you. Until Melissa comes to Portland. Until Sophie visits Seattle. Until they find out and both their lives implode. That won't happen. It's happening right now. I know, which means other people can figure it out too. He looked at me, really looked at me. What are you going to do? I don't know. If you tell Sophie, you'll break her heart right before her wedding, right when she's the happiest I've ever seen her. If I don't tell her, I'm complicit in the lie. I'm letting my sister marry someone who's already married to someone else. What if I promise to make her happy? What if I swear I'll never let her find out? You can't promise that. I can try. That's not good enough. We sat in silence. I have photos of you and Melissa, I finally said. 8 hours of coverage, hundreds of images of you promising to love her forever. I meant those vows. You can't mean vows to two people, David. That's not how marriage works. Says who? Why is it so impossible to love two people? Why does society say I have to choose? Because that's literally what marriage is, forsaking all others. You made that vow to Melissa, and I'll make it to Sophie, while still being married to Melissa. Yes, that's not romantic. That's not love. That's selfish. Maybe it is, but I can't lose either of them. And if I'm the only one knowing this, if I'm the only one carrying the weight of this, isn't that okay? They're both happy. They're both loved. Isn't that what matters? What about when they want kids? What about when they get sick? What about taxes, insurance, all the legal things that come with marriage? I've thought about all of that. I have a plan. A plan for bigamy. Great. Mock me all you want, but I love them both, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure they're both happy. Until the day they find out, and they will find out, David. Secrets like this always come out. Not if you don't tell them. And there it was, the real question. I went home, looked at Sophie's excited texts about menu tastings and flower arrangements, looked at Melissa's Instagram full of newlywed photos with hashtags like blessed and forever and always. Two women who had no idea they were married to the same man. I had 3 weeks to decide. Do I tell Sophie and break her heart, cancel the wedding, destroy her happiness? Do I tell Melissa and blow up a marriage she thinks is perfect? Do I stay quiet and let David marry my sister, knowing he's already married to someone else? Or do I tell them both and destroy 2 lives simultaneously? I called my best friend, Mark, who's a lawyer. Didn't give him names, just the situation. That's bigamy, totally illegal. If you know about it and don't report it, you could potentially be considered an accessory. What would happen to him? If convicted, prison time, definitely. Fines, and both marriages would be invalidated. The second one automatically, since it's illegal. The first one would likely be annulled too, given the circumstances. What about the women? They'd be victims. They could potentially sue him for fraud, but mainly they'd just be devastated. So my options are let my sister unknowingly commit bigamy or tell her and destroy her life. Pretty much. Unless what? Unless you confront him, give him an ultimatum. Either he comes clean to one of them before the wedding, or you will. I thought about that. It put the choice back on David. Let him decide which woman he'd hurt. But would he actually choose? Or would he just disappear, leaving both of them devastated and confused? I decided to give him one chance. I called him. We need to meet, just you and me. We met at a bar downtown, neutral territory. I've thought about it. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell one of them the truth. Before Sophie's wedding, you choose which one, but you tell them. And if I don't, then I'll tell them both. I'll send Melissa every photo from your wedding to Sophie. I'll send Sophie every photo from your wedding to Melissa. I'll blow up both your lives. You do that to your sister? You're the one doing it to her. I'm just refusing to help you do it. She'll hate you. Maybe, but at least she'll know the truth. Melissa didn't do anything wrong. Why should she suffer? Sophie didn't do anything wrong either, but you're making one of them suffer. You just have to choose which one. He looked into his drink. I can't choose. Then I'll choose for you. I'll tell them both. Wait, he was panicking now. Give me some time. Let me figure this out. You have until the wedding, 2 weeks from Saturday. If you haven't told one of them by then, I will. And how will I prove I told them? You'll bring me proof, a text conversation, something that shows they know.
This is blackmail. This is me protecting my sister. Call it what you want. I walked out. For the next week, I heard nothing from David. Sophie was in full wedding planning mode, texting me constantly about timeline details and must-have shots. Melissa was posting on Instagram about her perfect husband and their dream honeymoon plans. 1 week before the wedding, David called me. I told her. Who? Melissa. My heart sank. And she's devastated. She's at her parents' house. She's talking to a lawyer. Did you tell her about Sophie? Yes, everything. Is she going to contact Sophie? I don't know. I don't think so. She's too destroyed to think about revenge right now. Show me proof. He sent me screenshots, brutal text conversations, Melissa calling him every name imaginable, her lawyer's information, a photo of divorce papers. Are you still going through with Sophie's wedding? Silence. David. Yes, I love her. Melissa and I are over, so yes, I'm marrying Sophie. Does Sophie know any of this? No. You have to tell her. Why? Melissa and I are divorced. By the time Sophie and I are married, I'll be legally single. She has a right to know you were married a month ago.
It'll break her heart more if she finds out later. From someone else. How would she find out? From me. Another silence. I told Melissa, he said finally. I did what you asked. The wedding to her is over. I'm marrying Sophie honestly, as a single man. You're marrying her under false pretenses. She thinks she's your first marriage. I can't tell her. Jake, please, I love your sister. I'll make her happy. I'll be faithful to her. This thing with Melissa, it's over. Let me start fresh. Relationships don't work that way. You can't just delete your past. Watch me. He hung up. I sat with this for days. He'd done what I asked. He'd ended it with Melissa. The bigamy threat was gone. If he married Sophie now, it would be legal. But she still didn't know the truth. She still thought she was David's first and only love. Did she need to know? Was I obligated to tell her? 3 days before the wedding, Sophie came over to my apartment. She wanted to go over the photography timeline one more time. She was radiant, excited, planning the rest of her life. Jake, can I tell you something? Of course. I know this is fast. I know people probably think I'm rushing into this, but I've never been more sure of anything. David he's everything I've ever wanted. He's kind, he's successful, he's committed to building a life together. I feel so lucky. I looked at my little sister, the girl I'd protected her whole life, the girl I taught to ride a bike, who'd fallen and I'd caught her, the girl who trusted me to always tell her the truth. Sophie, I said slowly, what if I told you something about David that might change how you feel about him? Her face faded. What do you mean? What if he had a past he hasn't told you about? Something significant. Everyone has a past, Jake. I don't need to know everything about the years before we met. This is from during your relationship. Her face went pale. Did he cheat on me? Not exactly. Then what? I looked at her, my sister, about to marry a man who'd been married to someone else 6 weeks ago. A man who lied to 2 women for 2 years. A man who only ended his first marriage because I'd forced him to. But also a man who, by all accounts, treated Sophie well, made her happy, was building a life with her. Would knowing the truth make her life better? Or would it just destroy her happiness? Jake, you're scaring me. What is it? I made a decision. Maybe the wrong one. I'll never know. I just want to make sure you're sure that you've thought about this, that you're not rushing because of the venue deal or the excitement. Marriage is forever. I know that, and I've never been more sure of anything. I nodded. Okay, then I'm happy for you. She hugged me. Thank you for looking out for me. I love you. I love you too. The wedding was beautiful. Sophie was a gorgeous bride. David was an attentive groom. The photos were some of the best work I'd ever done. During the ceremony, as David said, "I do," I wondered if he was thinking about the last time he'd said those words to a different woman in a different city barely 2 months ago. During the reception, I got a text from an unknown number. Thank you for telling my husband the truth. We're divorced now. I hope your sister knows what she's getting into. Melissa. I deleted it without responding. Sophie and David left for their honeymoon in Bali, her Instagram filled with tropical photos, captions about starting our forever. I still have all the photos from David's first wedding, stored on an external hard drive, backed up in 3 places. Insurance, maybe. Evidence, definitely. Proof that before David Kim married my sister, he married someone else. Sophie still doesn't know. Melissa knows, but she's moved on, trying to rebuild her life. And I'm left with photos from 2 weddings, wondering if I made the right choice. Did I protect my sister by staying quiet? Or did I betray her by not telling her the truth? I photograph weddings for a living. I'm supposed to capture love, commitment, the beginning of forever. But now I know that sometimes forever starts while another forever is still ongoing.